Okay, so we're going to be looking at reading a blood pressure graph today. So we are told here in the question that Jamie has his blood pressure taken. The results are shown on the two dials above. I apologise for these dials being a little blurry. I will be zooming in just to try and make the numbers a bit bigger for you guys, especially if you're on your mobile phones. I couldn't find the original drawing because I had to draw that out. And too much, so much effort to do before. So we are then asked to explain what this tells Jamie about his blood pressure. So the first thing we're just going to do is just read from the dial. We're not going to look at this big thing here just yet. We're just going to ignore that and we're going to look at each dial and read it. So zooming in quickly. So this is our first one. This was our diastolic dial. Now, a really common mistake people do is that they just count up from the main number. So here we can see 80, and a lot of people go 81, 82, 83, 84. Okay, it's 84. But if we continue in that same manner, I think that would be 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 100. And it just suddenly jumps up here to 100. So that means it can't be going up in ones. And the best way I always think of it is just look at this middle one and determine what the middle thing will be. So that middle part, I've hit many other things. Okay, there we go. That middle part in between 80 and 90, that means that is going to be 90 there. And if that's 90, that means each of these little bits are going to be going up in twos. So we have 82, 84, 86, and then 88. So that's going to be 88 there. And for my answer down here below, I would just write diastolic equals 88, and then that unit there. And you must label your diastolic. Make sure it's really clear which is which. And then we do the exact same for our systolic. So zooming in, first thing I would do, I would look to figure out what that middle number here is going to be. So that's 140, 160. So I'm going to be in between that, which is 100. Let's just make that a little thinner. 150. And then counting up from that 150 line, and again, we can see it's going to be going up in twos. So it's 150, 152, 154. So just writing down here below, systolic equals 154. At that point, we are 2/3 of the way through the question. Now we got to look at this graph here. So what we're going to do, and I'm just going to change that to white, we're going to try and find where our two values here are going to sort of intersect with each other. So to start off with, I'm going to look at that diastolic of 88. So I'm going to be somewhere in between here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just going to draw a straight line up roughly. Ooh, actually, let's maybe go black because white was a bit hard to see there. So that's roughly 88. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's my diastolic kind of line. And then my systolic, I'm going to do about the same thing. So my systolic is 54, 154 even. Here is 150, so I'm going to be somewhere in between here. And so roughly about here, drawing along. And so their blood pressure lies in this circular region here. And because it intersects in that high blood pressure area, we write for our final answer, Jamie may have high blood pressure. So you look to see where it intersects and you just choose which of these 4 titles does that point intersect in. And that's all. So we're just going to look at one more example just because these are pretty quick and straightforward. So exact same idea again. Jade has her blood pressure taken. The results are shown on the 2 dials above. Explain what this tells Jade about her blood pressure. So first thing I'm going to do, same as before, going to zoom in. So in between, so here's my big line and I'm in between 80 and 60. So that means that longer line there is going to be 70. So that's 70. That's going to make that 72. And then writing down below, diastolic equals 72. And then same again with the systolic. I'm not actually going to bother about that sort of middle line here because now we kind of got the idea about it going up in twos and I don't need to really worry about it. So here is 100, 102, 104. So 104. So our systolic equals 104. And then reading from our table to the left here. So to start off with, my diastolic is 72. So I look where my diastolic is. It's down here, so I'm going to be in this region. Drawing a line up. Ooh, there we go. So that's my diastolic line. My systolic is 104. So again, I'm going to be looking at this rough region here. So drawing a line across. And yep, we can see this is where it's going to intersect. So that means Jade may have ideal blood pressure. And that's exactly how you want to set it up. So again, writing out the two values for your diastolic and your systolic, and then making this little statement here using the bar, the chart that you have at the side. Okay, I hope that was straightforward, and let me know if there's any issues.